Well, to get more on the latest developments, we can now speak to the cricket correspondent Zaahier Adams, who joins us from Cape Town. Zaahier, can you give us a brief background to how the story came about?
I think at the moment, South Africa, we're searching for reasons for the defeat, and obviously the selection of Vernon Philander, considering he was injured, coming into the side for a major game like that, that's going to spark questions. It's going to, people are upset, people are looking for answers, and that is something that quotas and transformation is never far from a buzzword in South Africa. It's always close to people's hearts, and that's basically the way it's come to the fore.
Is there any evidence to support the allegations of interference of team selection from the governing body?
At this point, nothing has surfaced as yet. I think in the past there have been instances where this has happened, and that has fueled the speculation. That has basically given people the conspiracy theorists, as we like to call them, to find a reason why this has happened, and what is particularly the reasons for the selection. Vernon Philander, he is an accomplished test bowler. He's been the #1 test bowler in the world before. So it's not like his position in the team should be questioned at any point. The fact that he was the #1 bowler going into the series until he got injured during the World Cup. So in terms of the actual quality of the player, that cannot be debated. In terms of the selection, whether it was the right call at the right time, that possibly is the query. And at this point in time, nothing has shown us that he was not a cricketing choice.
And what response has there been from Cricket South Africa?
I actually did an interview with the convener of selectors the night after the semi-final, and he basically explained it. Andrew Hudson, he explained it in terms of the fact that Vernon Philander has done well for South Africa previously. He said that the South African team were looking for extra depth in their batting lineup as well, as Vernon Philander is an all-rounder. He explained in terms of Philander's credibility within New Zealand, his statistics within New Zealand, the fact that he's done fairly well in New Zealand, and that possibly gave him the edge over someone like Kyle Abbott. So that's been the official response. The minister has also denounced anything that he was involved, the Minister of Sport, Cricket South Africa, Harun Logar, he's also stated the fact that he never gets involved in selection. So officially that is what we have at the moment, and everything else is basically people trying to look for different answers for the defeat.
Zaahier, is the alleged controversy said to have had any impact on South Africa's dramatic World Cup semi-final defeat to New Zealand?
I think if you watch that game, there was so much drama in that particular match that it went to and fro, and a game that seesawed and basically gripped our imagination for the entire 99.4 balls of the contest. So to point at one particular selection for South Africa's defeat, I think that would be a bit foolhardy. I think that would be irresponsible to state that that's the fact. The fact that Vernon Philander was actually one of the better bowlers for South Africa on the day. He conceded, if I'm not mistaken, just under 6.2 runs per over compared to someone like Dale Steyn, who's the world's #1 bowler, and conceded close on 8 runs to the over. So to say that particular selection was the reason for the defeat, I'd beg to differ on that.
So what happens next, and will this affect the quota system?
We live in South Africa. It's a part and parcel of our society that we have to address the imbalances of the past. In terms of whether sport and politics are aligned, that is something that's the eternal debate. In South Africa, that is a given. That is something that will always, not always, but it's something that is currently under the microscope. Cricket South Africa have implemented new quotas for the domestic cricket next year, the domestic franchise competitions, and that is something that Cricket South Africa are very passionate about. It's something that they believe that is good for cricket in the country and for the sport in general, as for the nation. So how we go forward and how we manage it, that is the complex the task, but it is part of South African cricket, yes.
Zaahier, thank you for speaking to Sports News Africa.